everyone, my name is Soraya Beheshti. I'm a current student at Columbia University. I study Anthropology and Middle Eastern Studies, and a particular interest of mine has been exploring the connections between human and animal rights abuses. So I've been a vegan for over 8 years now, but I've also been very, thank all of you, honestly. But I've also been very involved with human issues, particularly with the refugee crisis. I've spent a lot of time in refugee camps in the Middle East and around Europe, as has my partner over there, who's also vegan, by the way. Yeah. So at the moment, I've been doing some research within university about these kind of connections, and it's really interesting because the connection between human and animal rights abuses spans many levels. So on the one hand, there's the actual technology, or the mechanisms by which we are very used to extracting animal resources from. These are the slaughterhouses, the transportation, which then tend to show up again and again in human rights issues. But there's also the conceptual process of dehumanization that humans go, which is made easier by the fact that we already know how to dehumanize really, really well. So I grew up in a meat farming background in New Zealand. So I kind of went a whole 180 when I went vegan. But something I really believe right now is that when we, give children meat, or we kind of get them used to this idea that eating meat is extremely natural, we subconsciously teach them, 5 different things. One is that, off the bat, not all lives are equal, right? Keep this in mind. The second thing that we teach them is that it's okay to inflict suffering if it's socially acceptable. It's okay to inflict suffering if you're gaining something from it, if you're extracting. The fourth thing is that it's okay to inflict suffering if the victim can't speak up for themselves. And the last thing is that you should favor those who are similar over those who are different. So if you just let that sink in, I challenge you to try and think of one human rights issue that doesn't stem from one of those 5 things. Can anyone think of anything? It's not possible, because that is the core of all oppression. We see this time and time again. I know that there have been a lot of amazing studies and research projects done by people who survived the Holocaust and then went on to become vegan activists because they understood the experience of being dehumanized to such a degree, and they were literally transported to camps in animal slaughterhouse trucks. But I can even speak from my own experience. I was in 2016 in summer in the Calais refugee camp in France, which, by the way, is called the jungle, because that tells you how people think of these refugees, right? They're not even humans. So in a lot of my studies, I look at the process of deindividuation, and it's everything from, how the media portrays marginalized human groups and how they portray animals, just as we heard with the fish feel, that we're typically seeing people or animals depicted as masses, no individuation, no individual characteristics or features. This is a very important and integral part of the process of depersonalization. And depersonalization is the greatest contributor or facilitating factor of the process of moral disengagement. So the idea that good people, good citizens, can actually end up being very complicit and even, aggressively complicit, as we saw over there. I don't know if it's good citizen, but aggressively complicit in doing things that they would never, ever otherwise agree to, because it's a slow and gradual process by which we get taught from school, from the government, from the media, from pop culture, like Carl's Jr. ads, that this is normal and natural. And we're so far removed from what's normal and natural that we can't even see that the center is really defined by what's at the extremes, and we're moving in one extreme. So we need to push it the other way around. And if you guys are really interested in learning more, you guys can follow me on Instagram, soraya.beheshti. My name's kind of hard to spell, so I'll forgive you if you guys don't find it. I also have a website where I post a lot of vegan recipes, also my experiences with my startup, which is a non-profit that is basically allowing people to monetize time So refugees around the world, they're not allowed to actually earn money. 99% of the 68 million displaced people in the world today are not legally allowed to earn money in the places where they live. So we're creating a new currency based on time, something that we all have equally 24 hours a day. And part of what we're doing to raise money is we just released a vegan refugee fundraiser cookbook. So it's all recipes from refugee homes, vegan, because, you know, this ultimate structure of oppression is really part of the problem. So I look forward to seeing you guys all in office in a couple of years. If I could vote, I would, but I'm not American.